Hi everyone to another episode of Thoughts on Education. Today we have with us Dr. Falguni Vasavada, who is the area leader of strategic marketing at MICA. Hi ma'am, it is great to have you over here. And
Hello to you and all our audience listening to us. Same pleasure, it's also mine.
okay ma'am, so we'll be starting off with an introduction of yourself ma'am.
Okay, so my name is Dr. Falguni Vasavada Oza and I work as the head of strategic marketing area. So I'm the professor of the area called marketing at MICA. And I have been with MICA now since last 16, 17 years. And I have a total of 23 years of teaching experience in the field of marketing and advertising. I have been teaching marketing, advertising, brand strategy over the years and have a keen interest which is developed in the field of social media because it's a very strong platform for brands to be present on and enter into conversations with consumers. So my teaching and research also includes social media, how digital is shaping the brand communication area, how brands are changing their strategies to get more engagement and dive deeper into consumers' behavior because now they have avenues to know what we are doing and what we are writing and what we are posting and what we are thinking, right? Currently, as far as those trends are concerned. So I'm a TEDx speaker and I've spoken on body positivity, internalizing happiness and breaking stereotypes. And of course, I love social media for the power of the platform and the reach that it gives to your thoughts and your causes, which you are passionate about. So I am a very avid social media user, very enthusiastic social media user across platforms. And I am a micro social media influencer as well. So more as we go ahead, right?
Yeah, great, ma'am. I also follow you on Instagram, so I do know about you. So,
That's great.
Moving on, what are the key factors that have kept you connected to the education sector?
I think it's my passion for teaching. One is I absolutely love teaching because teaching means you are working with the youth of the country. You are working with young minds. And every day it is so vibrant a field of work that there is never a dull moment. So I think one as an intrinsic motivation level is my passion towards teaching and, exchanging thoughts and staying young with the young people. But I think if I have to add a second layer of what has kept me connected to academia since 23 years is the fact that this is, I think, one of the rarest of rare fields where you have to continuously learn and unlearn. So while you are, still hooked onto the theories of the field and the discipline and the principles of the field in which you are teaching in, you also have to keep your eye on what are the current developments, what are the changes, what are some of the latest trends. So you have to keep reading, you have to keep following trends, especially for me because I teach advertising and it's a volatile field, So every second things are changing. So from the day and age where we had classified print ads to today's age where you have brands which are engaging in conversations on platforms like Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter. I think the world has come a long way. And this is a profession which never lets you feel that you are dead or you are irrelevant or you are passive. It just keeps you on your, running shoes. That's what I would say.
That is true, ma'am. Being a marketing student myself, I also, keep in touch with what is going on in the marketing world and what is it that, takes the people to buy your product maybe, or maybe, what is it that consumer, looks into when they are trying to buy a brand, or what is it that you could do to influence a, customer. So moving on, being the area leader of strategic marketing at MICA, what is your philosophy of leadership and how would you describe your leadership style?
So firstly, the position that I hold at MICA, let me make it very clear that in all premier institutes, there is something called faculty governance. So I do not lay on a hierarchy position. So I'm not a hierarchy position in MICA because we all report to the top management leaders at MICA, okay, which is the president and director and our dean. So it is not a pure leadership role in the sense that there are people who are reporting to me, or there are faculty who would be, reporting to me, asking for my permissions. That is not the case at MICA. But yes, because you are overseeing an entire area, even if I use the word coordinator rather than the chair, as leading the area is concerned, you look at curriculum, you look at overall, the association with the industry, the tie-up. So in that way, yes, I am playing a leadership role. But what is a true leader was your question, right? I think a true leader is not a leader if she does not have a followers support, right? So you take along the people with you and then you walk ahead. Also, I think a true leader believes in delegation and decentralization of power and authority. So a true leader does not micromanage things, but develops ability amongst team members and then has that confidence that they will definitely carry out the work that they are entitled to do, right? So I think a lot of delegation, decentralization, good relationships with everybody who is working in your team. Also, not having that hierarchy in your mind as far as knowledge is concerned, because anybody can have better knowledge than you. And as a good leader, you should be ready to learn from anybody. Sometimes it may be the most junior-most person in your team who has a better idea or a better take on, how things are. So I think these are some of the qualities of a true leader. But wait, it reminds me this brilliant TED talk that I had seen of Simon Sinek on leadership. Okay. And he beautifully sums it up saying that a good leader makes his or her tribe feel safe and secure. Okay. So a good leader gives safety and security to his tribe, that is to his circle of people who he is working with. So I think that's the best way to look at what leadership is all about. Yeah.
That is true, ma'am. Being a leader means having people willingly follow you and, see that what your vision is and people wanting to follow you, of course. So that is true. So how does the curriculum of MICA ensure the best practice of the industry?
So I think, I have seen the evolution of MICA. So as MICA started in 1991 as an advertising school, then it shifted to being a marketing communication school. Then it said it was an integrated marketing communication school. So we were changing as the world around where brands live was also changing, right? And today we proudly say that we are a school of ideas, and we focus on strategic marketing and communication. So our academic focus is in two areas, strategic marketing and communications. And whatever we do, whether these are our subjects or whether what we teach or how we teach or how we engage with students, it's loaded with creativity. Hence, we are the school of ideas, okay? And I would say that we are like at the best, we are updated as far as our curriculum goes, because we were one of the first schools in India to launch a specialization in digital. In the management school sphere, we were the first to launch a specialization in our PGP program, which was in digital communication management. Recently, we have elevated and enhanced the worth of our subjects in another specialization, which earlier was called marketing research, okay? But now we have loaded it with analytics, big data, social media listening, big data analytics, online consumer behavior. So what is happening is that, research is giving way to big data analytics, and that is where the whole industry is right now, and it's looking for skilled people in that area. So I think we are the first movers as far as relevant changes that we need to introduce or updates we need to introduce in our courses, in our curriculum, in our specializations is concerned, right? This year, looking at the pandemic and the COVID scenario, every course at MICA has re-looked at the fact that, in a post-COVID scenario, when students will be placed in the industry, what kind of curriculum level or course level changes or additions we should make, or what additional skills we should give to our students. So as a proud stakeholder of MICA, I would definitely love to say this, that I think we are one of the fastest as far as matching it up with what the industry requires is concerned at an India level and also at a global level.
That is true, ma'am. When it comes to, MBA schools, MICA is also one of the top priorities of a student when it comes to, getting admission into. And if a student is, interested for sole marketing purposes, and if they want to make a career in marketing, MICA is the school to go to. So, if we go ahead, what do you think your roles and responsibilities to the college and to the students are?
So, to the institute, see, we as faculty play very three clear roles. One is teaching and teaching role. Second is the role as a researcher that we do in our discipline, in our area of interest. Teaching is across programs, whether it is the PGP program or whether it is our FPM program, which is our doctoral level program, or whether it is our one-year program called Crafting Creative Communication. And also MICA very nicely runs around 6 to 7 online programs, which are for working professionals, right? So across programs, the first role that I play is of teaching, right? Various courses. Second is, I think, is your research role. And third is your admin and institutional building role. So the admin role is, say, for example, as a area head of strategic marketing area, I do a lot of administrative work which the area would require, right? And institutional building is the service element where we look at admissions, we look at placements, and as faculty, we also try to help in those areas, curriculum revamp, or for example, faculty immersions that keep on happening with global universities. So that is the service role. So I think there are three major roles and responsibilities towards the institute. I think towards the student as a teacher, while your direct role says that you have to teach, you have to give them knowledge, you have to finish your curriculum, but as a teacher, and please take this as my personal view, it is not an institutional view. So my personal view is that as a teacher, I think you have to open minds of your students. That is your main role. You have to open up their minds. You have to empower them to question the norms, the stereotypes, the biases, the judgments, the challenges, so you have to help them unlearn. And I think as a true teacher, you have to make them powerful enough that they would be secure in their bodies and they would be able to say whatever they want to say with a lot of logic and a lot of research that they have at their hands, right? So other than, of course, teaching them subjects, concepts, and curriculum, I think a teacher plays a much broader role. And I don't think a teacher's role towards towards a student is limited to the 2 years that the student is on campus. I think once a teacher, always a teacher, once a student, always a student, and that is lifelong, whether they are going to come back to us with some industry problems or they're going to come back to us, with some expectation of us writing them recommendation letters because they want to go to foreign universities to do their PhD. I think it doesn't stop. So we are more like a parent. A parent's responsibility towards the child doesn't stop. The nature of the responsibility will change as the child grows, right? So I think it's much more towards the student than towards your institute or your employer.
That is true, ma'am. When you're in the marketing industry, you have to be, thinking out of the box and bringing out new ideas. You should be challenging norms and thinking about what could be done new and what could be done.
No, I did not mean marketing industry. I meant teacher. Even if I was teaching mathematics.
Yeah. Yes, that is true.
Biology. That is not marketing. That is teacher's responsibility.
Of course. So, what do you think should be MICA's top priority over the next 10 years?
Over the next 10 years, I think the top priority of MICA should be to become, like, we are already India's, premier management institute, and we are well known nationally. We are ranked number one when people want to specialize in strategic marketing. But I think the now MICA is, of course, and we are working towards it. In the next 10 years, it has to grow globally and have a very good global presence across different universities, do strategic tie-ups, do more student exchanges and faculty exchanges, because we are turning into a borderless world and we have to learn from each other's culture, right? Because the exposure is also different when you learn from people from different countries, your peer level student group, which is diverse enough. So I think from India to global is the leap of faith that we all are excited about.
That is true, ma'am. The world is very dynamic, and we have to keep on, learning and unlearning, and of course, thinking about what is going to come next. So, when you first came to MICA, what was your vision for the college, and has it evolved over time? And how far along in implementing that vision are you?
So see, vision is always of the institute, never of an individual person, right? So it was MICA's vision that we are talking about. So when I came and I joined in 2004, right? MICA was positioned as a school which is giving you the best of marketing communication. And our vision was to create good citizens who will do advocacy, who will responsibly work in the society, right? Create leaders. So I think that vision, we have been quite a bit successful in attempting everything that was required to achieve that vision. So today, if you see, we have MICA alumni who are chief executive officers, who are on the Asia Pacific board of advisory for companies. We have people who are chief marketing officers. We have the leading consultants of the country who are our alumni. So definitely we have been able to achieve the leadership positions for students that was visualized or written in our vision. And I think as an important stakeholder of an educational institute, every faculty contributes to the vision in direct or indirect way. Not only me, every faculty would be contributing directly to the vision. As a support function, indirectly the staff and the administrative people would be also contributing. So I'm not undermining their importance, but they are always a support function. The main line function is of the faculty in an educational institute. So I think all of us have played different roles and contributed in different degrees, okay, to achieve the vision. That is for sure.
That is great, man. So, what would you like people to know about your college they might not know?
So I think, MICA, of course, people know the campus is very beautiful. People know that we are spread across 21 acres of green campus on the outskirts of Ahmedabad. People also know that we are very progressive when it comes to curriculum, the content that we bring to the class. And we have a very, very informal structure of relationships. So faculty are always available for students. Right, these in between students also, the campus life is rocking, and everybody knows that life at MICA is amazing in terms of hostel life, committee work, student work. Our placements are one of the best in the industry, summer and final both. So I think all these are known facts, okay? But I think what is something unknown and what somebody would experience only after coming and being with MICA for a year or two is the fact that this is a campus that gives you the ability to be you. Okay. So whether you are not sure about your gender affiliation, or whether you are a leftist or a rightist in your thought process, right? Whether you want to give voice to your political aspirations in life, right? I think MICA has a space for everybody. I think as a campus, There is no judgment, there is no bias, and it just lets you be. And in fact, students, I think, come out of their shells and come out of their biases. So the way in which they come to MICA and the way in which they go out of MICA, there is a huge change in their personality, in their thinking, in the way in which they look at their peer group, the perspectives that they have started seeing life with, their attitude towards life in general, society in general. So I think because being you is a superpower, right? So say, for example, being comfortable in your skin is a superpower. Coming out and telling the whole world that I'm proud about being a gender neutral person and I'm comfortable being a man, comfortable being a woman, and I can dress up in whatever I want. So there's a lot of superpower in just being you, what you love to be or what you are comfortable with. And I think if that any institute can give you, it's magical. So MICA does give that power to all its stakeholders, including students.
So it builds up the confidence of the students. So it is very liberal in its thought process, the gist of what you would say. So what do you see as your college's greatest strength?
Greatest strength would be curriculum, and it would be the diversity.
Okay. So what are some of the biggest challenges you see both for higher education in general and for MICA specifically?
So for higher education in general, I think one of the challenges is how relevant or updated is the curriculum for practical application of knowledge, and how much are we emphasizing on practical knowledge. Okay, so of course most B schools in India run their curriculum through case studies, through simulations. All that is a part of your course. But how are you as close connected to the industry, and how much do you know what is happening, how role ready you are, or in other words, how job ready you are as far as your 2 years that you invest in an MBA program is concerned. I think that is the biggest challenge, the practical application, the affiliation to the industry, the updation of knowledge, So I think that is an overall challenge that I'm seeing in higher education. But at the level of MICA, it is a little difficult for me to even articulate any specific challenge. Of course, immediately, if you are asking me, then the COVID scenario has stagnated quite a few industries and the growth has suffered, So it can be challenging right now to understand the job roles, for example. What is the industry expecting? What kind of job specifications will come on campus? The placement scene. So that can be an immediate temporary challenge. But I think overall, and more, I think as we go ahead in the coming years, in the future, we will see a high-end focus on even entrepreneurship as a skill. And to build that skill up is a challenge, because to leading these schools, individuals are coming because they seek placement support. And to build up entrepreneurship skills is another extreme dimension that we are talking about, right? So yes, in that way, and of course, curriculum has to change faster than ever. So that is a challenge for any B school, including MICA, because today digital and all is turning at such a fast pace. So for example, you are teaching sales and distribution, and suddenly you hear that Amazon has started distributing with drones, right? So technology entering into distribution, taking away the middlemen. There is no wholesaler, retailer. There's a direct Amazon drone consumer. So these new models of interaction between brand and consumer coming up. So any I think institute focusing on strategic marketing, it is very challenging to keep continuously in real time updating their courses and curriculum. Yeah, so that is a challenge.
Okay. So moving on, any suggestions you would like to give to the current youth and the aspiring students?
Okay, one biggest suggestion would be, there is absolutely no shortcuts to success. People may tell you that we are in the age of smart work, we are in the age of fast work, we are in the age of browsing through stuff and learning. No, if you want to get admission into a good institute, you have to invest your efforts, right? So hard work is the only way to succeed. Invest properly for these 2 to 3 years of your career, and then there will be no looking back. So I think that is one. And the second is, I think the youth today need the right attitude towards learning. At times, their attitude of know-it-all, combined with their shrinking attention spans, coupled up with the fact that there is social media to distract your attention, I think there is some attitudinal gaps, that you see in teaching and learning. So as a student, you have to come with open mind, and you have to come with a positive inclination towards learning. And I don't think any Google or Wikipedias of the world can be a substitute to an in-class learning or on-campus learning that you get for 2 years. But to grasp that, it is in your control, right? People may be giving everything to you in a golden plate, but whether you are going to take it and eat it, positively or not, wo to aap pe hai. So I think hard work and the right attitude towards learning is what I would like to say.
Thank you very much, ma'am. This is all we wanted to ask, and it has been very insightful as well. And thank you for being a part of our campaign. Thank you, ma'am.
Pleasure. All the best.